Radiant Pink, issue number 5 out of 5 from Image Comics. So yes, this disaster is finally coming to an end. Thank God. And did this series go out with a bang? Pretty sure you can kind of guess that answer already. But yeah, let's dive in. So we start off this issue with Eva streaming with her new girlfriend Kelly. So yeah, last issue, they finally arrived back on Earth. And in this issue, they're just back to being a lovey-dovey couple. All of the fans in the chat are excited for them, say that they're a great couple. And yeah, as they're like signing off, Kelly basically throws out a clue to the audience that Ava is radiant pink. She basically says, "Wow, babe, you're radiating. Maybe it was the kiss, or you just have a natural pink glow." So she's kind of basically throwing it out there. And after it's over, Maddie gets upset. She's basically saying that maybe we should take a break because the stream, like, Ava doesn't think the stream was all that great. And Maddie kind of agrees with her. She says, it's not your fault. You're just kind of drained. Maybe we should take a break. And Kelly is like, you're being too hard on her. She was awesome. She was incredible. Don't listen to her. And the two of them kind of start bickering and fighting. And it gets to a point where Kelly gets so pissed off that she storms off. So Kelly storms off. Maddie and Ava have a fight. Ava storms off as well. She teleports off. And while she's out, Maddie puts in her head that maybe you should wonder what Kelly's doing whenever she storms off. Like, how can you trust her? And Ava's like, maybe I should see what she's doing. And it turns out that Kelly is talking to the two people who helped her put on the suit and helped her blow up a children's hospital. Yeah, we can't forget about that part. That was still a thing. The writers seem to want to get us to forget that Kelly blew up a children's hospital. Like, this whole thing seems like they were trying to redeem her. It's like she blew up a children's hospital. But eventually the two people kind of threaten Kelly. They threaten to go after Ava. They basically say, like, hey, the people who are backing us up, like our brokers and stuff, they want that suit back, the vest that you're wearing. And I know you can't take it off, but the vest is more important than your life. Like, we'll have to kill you if we need that vest back. You're just a glorified courier. Maybe we'll kill you, or maybe we'll go after your girlfriend first. And then Kelly gets pissed off at that, and she murders the dude, and then she is murdering the female when Ava shows up, and she shows up just in time to see Kelly kill the girl. And then of course they get into another fight because Ava just witnessed her girlfriend killing two people. She's like, murder is wrong. And Kelly's trying to explain herself, like, hey, I had to do it. They were not only threatening me, but they were threatening you. Like, they were threatening to go after you and kill you. I couldn't let that happen. And eventually this turns into a huge argument where they start battling each other. And as they're battling each other, Kelly just kind of goes crazy and starts throwing cars. She believes that Maddie is trying to separate them, so she tries to kill Maddie. And basically this whole issue is pretty much, it reminds me of the last season of Game of Thrones, in the sense that we all know that Daenerys was going to end up going mad, but it needed a slow build up towards that. Instead, it was just one episode she's all right, and then the next episode is a switch was flipped and she's going around burning down cities and killing a bunch of innocent people. That's kind of how it felt here, where it's only here it was actually a lot worse, because at least in Game of Thrones, Daenerys started off sympathetic. Here, Kelly starts off trying to blow up a children's hospital. They try to redeem her in the rest of the issues, only they didn't really do a good job. In fact, they didn't really do much to address the fact that she blew up a children's hospital. It was just more of hey, these two love each other, so it doesn't matter what happened in the past. At least that's the kind of impression that they were trying to give. Here, we start off the issue with them super lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden, Kelly just pulls another 180 and just starts trying to murder everybody. It's terrible writing. I always knew that there was going to be a big confrontation at the end. It's just, obviously we're going to have to get that, because there is no other big bad in this entire series. But it's poor writing. You start off Kelly doing something evil. You didn't really do anything to really address her trying to be good. You just had her instead of like focusing on doing evil things, she's just trying to get into Ava's pants the entire time. And then they're like super lovey-dovey, and then now all of a sudden Kelly's just going around trying to murder people again for the smallest things. They kind of try to explain like, oh, it was a suit. The suit is what did that. But nowhere in this entire issue does that ever pop up. Not once do we get any hint that the suit is doing something to her brain and making her evil. So it's just like, oh, we're just pulling this out of our ass because we need this big final confrontation to end this issue. And in between that, we get Maddie talking to Marshall. And Marshall, Maddie's just being an absolute see you next Tuesday. And telling Marshall, like, hey, thanks for nothing. Thanks for not helping me out. And it's kind of like, girl, how is he going to help you out? He can't teleport. How is he going to get to where Ava was? Just because he has a suit, you think he can automatically save the day? And then, of course, we have Marshall trying to hit on Maddie, and she completely signs off and ignores him. Because I don't know why we had to have that in there. Just kind of, okay. But yeah, it turns into a huge showdown between Eva and Kelly. And then the way it ends, I have no idea. I guess I'll just spoil it. It ends with Ava finishing her stream saying that she's going to take a break for mental health reasons. And that's how it ends. And it's just kind of like, okay, are we going to actually see that in the Radiant Black series? Are we going to see any kind of change whatsoever in Ava? Or is this going to be like the series doesn't even matter? But I hated this whole thing. I hated the relationship. I hated how forced it seemed. I hate the fact that we wasted so many pages, so many issues on just going on this stupid space adventure only to kind of come back and completely ignore all that. And now we're getting Kelly just going off the deep end with almost no trigger whatsoever, just so we can have this final confrontation. So here's what I would do. If they came up to me and they say, hey, we want you to write Radiant Pink miniseries, I'd be, all right, here's my story. Let's assume that they want to have the whole new relationship and Kelly has to be involved in some way. So here's what I would have done. Ava has recently broken up with her girlfriend. She's still down in the dumps from that. Like the breakup has just like kind of like destroyed her. Her streams have been kind of suffering from that. And that's when she decides, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to go take a short break from streaming for a bit and I'm going to go be a superhero. I'm Radiant Pink. I'm going to go out and I'm going to go, solve some crimes or something. And as she's out doing this, she comes across a new superhero. Someone she's never heard of before, someone who doesn't have the radiant powers. She's like, oh, who's this new girl? And the new girl is Kelly. And Kelly has like the suit, but she's wearing like a mask or something to hide her identity. Over time, like the two of them start working together. They start bonding, and then feelings start developing. And eventually, they reveal their identities and stuff like that. And they start dating. And everything seems to be okay, but we'll get like small little just like warning flags that something's not quite right. Like maybe we start seeing that Ava is starting to become a little bit weaker. And we can kind of brush that off like as, well, you've been going hardcore with the superhero stuff and you haven't really been taking any breaks. That could be it. Or maybe they take on like a villain and the villain does something and like maybe the villain gets like a huge blast off on Ava and they chalk it up like, oh, maybe that's just kind of messing with my powers. It's going to be revealed that it's not. That's not the reason why Ava is like this, but we can use that as like a smoke screen for now. Something's wrong with Ava. She's getting a little bit weaker. We don't know why, but there's some excuses that we can use. Meanwhile, Kelly's starting to become more like overprotective. Like she's kind of like hovering over Ava. She's always around Ava. And the reason she's always around Ava is she's like, well, like, you haven't been feeling good. You're getting kind of weaker. I'm just worried about you. Like, I'm your girlfriend. I want to make sure you're okay. If you're not feeling all that great, I want to be there to help take care of you until you get better. Because that's what people do when they're in relationships. But it becomes almost like she's like a helicopter parent. She's just kind of like hovering over Ava a lot. And that can be like the thing between her and Maddie, where Maddie's like, you're becoming too overprotective. Like you're constantly around. You're not letting Ava have any space. And Kelly's like, that's because she's injured. She's hurt. She's weak. I just want to protect her. I want to make sure she's okay. That's the only reason I'm doing this. And so we just have like this back and forth. And we can build up on that. We can build up on the dynamic between Maddie and Kelly and their antagonistic feelings towards each other. Kelly and Eva and their feelings. Maddie trying to tell Eva, like, hey, this girl's becoming a bit too, like, clingy. Like, be careful. Like, something just doesn't seem right. And Ava's like, oh, like, don't worry about that. She's just trying to protect me. And then at the end of volume 4, like the cliffhanger, it can be revealed that the reason why Kelly is in a relationship with Eva and the reason why she's hovering over her is because she's siphoning her power. That's why Eva is weak. Ava is weak not because she like pushed herself too hard or like an enemy blasted her or whatever. She's weak because of Kelly, because of the vest Kelly's wearing. The vest is siphoning power away from Ava. And the reason why Kelly is constantly around Ava is because she needs to be around Ava to charge up her suit. So all this, like, I just want to protect you, it's all lies. She just wants the power. And then that's when we get our big final showdown. And we can even build up the drama of the final showdown by having, like, Ava is weak. She's been weakened throughout the past few issues because of Kelly, because Kelly's been around siphoning her power. So now you have, like, a souped up Kelly versus a weak, somewhat drained Ava. And so now Ava is realizing, okay, I can't rely solely on my radiant suit. I have to come up with something else. I have to maybe like use my brains. Maybe Maddie can get involved because Maddie just seems to be just a sidekick for Ava's streaming. Like she's just kind of there. She doesn't really do anything. Even in this entire series, she doesn't really do anything. She's just there, but they try to build her up like she's an important character. She's important in Ava's life, but there's very little interaction between Ava and Maddie in this entire series. So what I would have done is, while you're focusing on Ava and Kelly, you can also build up the Kelly and Maddie antagonistic relationship, as well as the Ava and Maddie friendship. And Maddie can be the one to kind of help Ava. Not necessarily Maddie saves the day, but Maddie does something to come up with an idea, or maybe she comes up with some kind of distraction. She does something to help Ava get the edge over Kelly and stop her for good. Like, that's what I would have done. None of this stupid space adventures with space cats and throwing up rainbows and kitty litter, whatever planet. I don't even remember the name anymore. None of that stupid stuff. It would just be focused on the relationship, them going out and, fighting crime and stuff. But just something seems off. And it's basically the whole thing was a lie. Kelly was faking this relationship. She just wanted to be near Ava for the power. And as Ava's getting weaker, Kelly's using her relationship as an excuse to remain by her side and siphon more power. And then Ava realizes, like, hey, this girl doesn't really like me. She just wants my power. And then we got to have the big showdown fight. That's what I would have done. I don't know if you think that would have been better, but I feel like it's just, we start off with the hospital explosion, and then we go to this weird planet, and then we get 3 issues of just crazy, stupid space stuff, and then we get this one issue where they have the big fight. Like, the pacing just seems all over the place. There's no, like, coherent flow between the issues in this series. And I think it sucks. This whole entire series has sucked from issue 1. I tried to give it a chance, but it has, like, every issue after has just been worse and worse. And this issue is, like, I don't know if I want to say it's the worst one, but it's absolutely terrible. Like, I can see this fight coming. I saw it coming since issue 1, but they didn't do a good job building up to it. It was basically, oh, Kelly's going to be portrayed as a bad guy at first. Oh, these issues, we're going to try to redeem her. Oh, never mind, she's going to be the villain all along. And it's like, meh, I would have done it the opposite way. I would have had her, like, you start off with her, she seems good. And then as it goes on, you start putting little tiny, like, just little hints, little seedlings that something's not quite right with this girl. And then you have it revealed at the end that it was all a big lie. And she's really evil. And then you have the big showdown. That's what I would have done. But yeah, there you go. Rating Pink, issue number 5. It's terrible. It's garbage. This whole miniseries has just been god awful. Terrible characters, terrible writing. In my opinion, terrible art. I don't care for this art. Maybe some people might like it, but I hated it. There's nothing redeemable about this series whatsoever. It is a series that did not need to be made. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.